Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining in this video. And this is a time, in this year in our lives where we have reached a point of a great cosmic reset. And that actually happens with this solar eclipse, which is happening on this very day as we speak. Okay. So the solar eclipse is happening in the sign of Pisces. And if you look at the chart of the eclipse, depending on whichever time zone you are in, apart from the sun and moon being together, Venus and Mercury have joined this eclipse. Okay, so this is a very important eclipse because solar eclipse represents the ending of one cycle and the starting of next cycle. And in my last video on eclipses, I've actually explained how a solar eclipse impacts you for a period of almost 18 years. So it's a long impact, that is caused by any solar eclipse, and depending on whichever planets are a part of that eclipse. Okay. Now, people would say, that this eclipse is not visible in India, so it's not going to be as effective as it should be, but that is not the case because at the end of the day, we are not in a static universe. Okay, we are in a universe which is constantly in flux, which is constantly in motion. So whether you or not you understand it or not, whether or not you accept it or not, the eclipse is going to affect you. Okay, and I'll take an example chart to explain how this eclipse is going to affect you. But before that, I want to underline the principles of how the solar eclipse, the general effects of the solar eclipse. Okay, so if you look at the eclipse in general, you will see that sun and moon are almost together in this eclipse. Okay, you can make the chart using any Vedic astrology software, and joining the conjunction is Mercury as well as Venus. Okay, so when we speak about Mercury, Mercury represents all those things in your life which are workable. Okay, Mercury represents the workable pathways in your life. Okay, and this is very, very important because if you have a bad Mercury, then you are very, very hesitant to try out new things. Okay, and anyways, Mercury, it's natural to find Mercury to be a part of this eclipse because it's always so very close to the sun. And but it's not very common to see Venus there. Okay, and as I said, in this eclipse you'll see both of them. Okay, and in this case, in the solar eclipse of today, both these planets are getting a major overhaul. Okay, because and then as I said, because it's a solar eclipse, that means we are finishing a cycle and we are beginning a new cycle of activity. Okay, and this is the nature of a solar eclipse. Okay, because in whatever house the eclipse happens, you finish a cycle of behavior, of actions, of living your life, and you are going to start a new cycle of how you are dealing with something. Okay, and the thing in question is the house. Okay, the planets that the eclipse is going to be landing on, right? So it helps if you don't have any planets in Pisces, but then if you do have planets in Pisces, then it's going to open up a lot of things in your life. Okay, a lot of things in your life. So as I said, Mercury represents our doing of things in a certain way. Okay, and why we try things in a certain way? We try things in a certain way only when we believe in something. And once we believe in an idea, we go for it and we use it and we see how it works. Okay. And then after trying that path, for a certain period of time, we get to a point or we reach a conclusion that we are done doing it. Okay. Say for example, let's say you have used Nike as your preferred brand of shoes for your whole life. Okay, and you have tried this brand of shoes, felt good in Nike shoes, and now all of a sudden you decide that you are going to try another brand of shoes. Okay, so that is what Mercury does. Okay, it it decides on it decides on trying out certain things that we believe in. Okay. And when Venus joins this, it indicates commitment. Remember, Venus represents commitment in your life. Okay. And you commit to only those things which you really believe in. Okay. You say you commit to relationships. Why? Because you believe that relationships are something worthwhile. Okay. And you believe that, you have a certain approach of working or handling your partner, of working with your partner. So that is where the Venusian factor comes in. And I'm not only speaking about relationships. Okay, although Venus is the significator of relationships in the chart, it does not only indicate relationships. It also indicates a lot of things. But overall, uh, Venus is about commitments. Okay, commitments to a certain way of working. All right. So I'll just take an example chart, and hopefully that is going to clear a lot of your doubts. Just hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I think you're seeing the screen here. So if you look at this chart, it is a Virgo rising chart, and the 12 the sign of Pisces is falling in the seventh house. Okay, so you look at Mercury. Mercury is ruling the first house of self as well as the third house of your daily routine, of your ability to work. Okay, so the ideas that you have with regards to yourself, with regards to your work, you'll have a rethink on those ideas. You'll need to rethink on those ideas. You'll reach a point where you'll feel that you have enough of that. Okay, say you well, and see, the eclipse is happening in the seventh house of relationships. So these ideas are going to change, keeping in mind your relationships. If you're married, then your ideas regarding yourself as well as about the work you do or the way you work are going to change by keeping your marriage in focus. Okay, so let's say you are a Virgo ascendant, and you are working in an MNC, that requires you to work for almost 10 hours a day. They may be paying you a lot of money, but then you got into a relationship or you entered a marriage with someone, and now you decided that you are not going to work for 10 hours. Maybe you're going to work for 8 hours at a lesser pay, because you need to give more time to your relationship. But now, as this eclipse is happening, all of a sudden you might realize that whatever money you are earning by working for 8 hours might not be sufficient. So what you will do is you will maybe strike a conversation with your spouse or your partner if you are married, and say that you need to work for 10 hours. You need to cut down on the time that you are currently dedicating to your partner or to your spouse, and you need to work for 10 hours so that your income remains consistent or your flow of money remains consistent. Okay, and maybe your partner is going to agree, or maybe the partner is not going to agree. If the partner agrees, maybe you will find a way to convince your partner or whatever. But then once you have agreed upon a certain pathway, Venus, being the ninth lord and the uh, the second lord, you know, you're going to make a commitment. Okay, you are going to make a commitment to your partner that, see, I'm not earning much by giving you so much of time. I need to work. I really need to work for 10 hours to earn this amount of money to support our dreams, or maybe to pay that house loan, or maybe to pay for that new car. So I want to work in this way. I want to work for 10 hours. So maybe I want to work for 12 hours now, so that we can have a better life. Because you see, Venus being the second lord, Venus being the ninth lord, is going to bring in the money factor into question. And all this is happening by keeping the focus on your relationships. Okay. So it's a complicated way when you look at solar eclipses. And once you have decided on this way, once you have told your partner that I will work for 12 hours, or I'll be working for at least 10 hours by cutting down on the time that I give to you, you will be committed to maintaining this cycle for the next 18 years. Some days will be very good, some days will be very not so good. Your partner is going to complain that you're not giving me time, or you need to give us we need to give ourselves more time, or you need to compromise on the money part. Okay, because you cannot have both. You cannot have time and money together. If you are having money, then you'll always be short of time. And if you want more time, then obviously you have to compromise on the monetary part. Okay, so this is about committing to a certain way of working. And in this case, it represents the way of, the way of dealing with your job, the way of dealing with yourself as well as your partner, because it's happening in the seventh house of relationships. Okay, so I hope I have made this, clear. Please look at your charts and do let me know in the comment section what changes are you bringing into your life. So what changes have actually come to your life that you have decided that certain idea is no longer working and you need to work on something else for, for sustaining yourself as well as others in the next 18 years. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Please reach out for a consultation if you want a detailed analysis of the eclipse concerning your horoscope, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Please subscribe to the channel if you think this video has added certain value to your knowledge of Vedic astrology, and I'll see you soon on the other side. Stay Om Gurave Namaha.